Okay, I'm here for another edition of Real Talent. I'm here with Dan Burdett. Dan, could you just give us your CV in 60 seconds? Give us your background.
Yes, I'm a dairy farmer, an organic dairy farmer down here in Sussex. I've one farm in Sussex, one in Kent, milking about 500 cows between them. I grew up on the farm, but I wasn't always a farmer. I did a business studies degree. I worked in sales and marketing in London up until I was 30, but it wasn't the life for me. I kind of didn't want to be a small cog in a big engine. I prefer to be in control of the destiny a bit more of my life, although farming is not always, you're not always in control of your destiny.
500 cows are.
Yeah, that's right. Working with people and animals and the weather. But yeah, I think I bring some of the skills I brought in from working in an office and working with people all the time. I like to think that, that's one of the most enjoyable parts of my job, is trying to bring people skills into farming, something which is lacking in quite a lot of farming businesses.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about when you're an employer, so when you're interviewing people, what are the characteristics which appeal to you most when you're considering hiring people?
Well, first and foremost, they need to be interested in the job, and they need to show some that they've actually done some research. We've interviewed a lot of people who haven't actually got a clue what we do. They've done no research. So the very basics, do your research and look interested.
Yeah.
Asking lots of questions. So talkative, want to find out things. They're curious about what's going on.
Yeah.
We get a good idea of their views as part of that. I'm looking for someone with a bit of an idea of where they want to go in life. That even if that means I just want a job where I can stay and I just want safety and security, that's fine as long as they know that. But a lot of people I employ want to take a step up, perhaps. It's the first part of their career ladder or the second part. And, I want to get an idea of where they want to go so that I can help them to get there. Yeah.
You've talked about helping people to sort of get back on their feet, or helping people to kind of progress. Do you deliberately look for people who you can help more than others?
I wouldn't say I deliberately do it, but I think in farming you can't often come across people who've maybe been worked to the bone in other places, or they've been mistreated, or a lot of people want to work with animals because of the benefits it brings to mental health and well-being. Yeah. That sort of person. So yeah, a few times we've come across that. I think it's important that we're able to show these people that they can get back into the world of work. But I want to employ a broad spectrum of people. Not, I don't want everyone with the same background. I want a diverse group of people working for me.
Yeah. So when you've identified great potential in somebody, how do you go about nurturing them and helping them to flourish?
Well, it's usually sitting down and doing kind of 6-monthly reviews with them. Certainly when they start, after a few weeks, it'd be kind of, right, okay, well, you've got your feet under the carpet now. How are we going to progress you? How are we going to train you? Where do you see yourself in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time? And it may be, the best successes I've had are people who said they want to be traveling the world in 2 years' time, and that's exactly what they've done, and they've come back from that, and they're progressing in their career. So I think it's all about finding out what those people want. Often it's not money, although obviously money is a motivator, but it's often career progression or job satisfaction in this industry, looking after livestock and they're all happy and that sort of thing. So if you don't ask the question, you'll never know.
Yeah. Those people who have done the best job working with you, who have been the most successful working with you, have they had any specific kind of qualities in common?
I think they've got a drive to succeed. One guy in particular who worked for me here at the home farm now runs the other farm, and he always wanted that challenge to improve year on year. His drive wasn't financial. His drive was, I want to be one of the best dairy farm operators in the country.
Yeah.
I want to benchmark myself against other dairy operators, and I want to hold my head above those guys in meetings and things like that. So yeah, that drive and determination is really key.
Yeah. Looking back on your career, what would you advise to an 18-year-old Dan? Because it sounds like your destiny almost has been to go into dairy farming, but you didn't originally take that route. And how would you do things differently, or yeah, what would you advise to an 18-year-old Dan?
Well, I probably wouldn't. You would always make some changes, but it's ended up in the right place. But I always say to anyone in our industry that they must, because it's very family orientated, very family based, i.e. people take over from their dads and they stay on the farm, and they must go and work for someone else, travel the world. But you've got to find out what it's like to be employed by someone. You've got to find out how tough it is sometimes to be managed by other people before you try and manage others, because you need to have that empathy with employees. Empathy is such a key part of understanding what they want from their role, and when they're having difficult times, if you can empathize with the situation they're in, you're much more likely to be able to resolve those problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me. I've not had a dairy farmer doing this with me, and so it's been really great to find out a little bit more about it. And in terms of your business, you produce on a contract basis for a larger organizations. How does that work?
Yeah, so we are owners of Arla. So there's 2,500 dairy farmers in the UK who own Arla as part. There's 12,500 across Europe. So we're one of those. Yeah. The Arla cooperative. So they're kind of putting big brands behind our milk, etc.
Yeah. So lots of us are probably drinking milk that's come from your farm every day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, one other last question. What is your favorite thing to do with milk?
Yogurt. Love yogurt.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Mine is probably Weetabix. Put it on Weetabix.
Okay.
With some fruit on the top.
If it's breakfast, porridge. Like it, I can't get through a day without a bowl of porridge.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Thanks so much for your time, Dan.
That's all right, Adam. No problem.